Grades are pointless. Now, I know that might be kind of controversial coming from a 8th grade history teacher here, but I mean, if you really think about it, they really are pointless. And so what I want to do in this video is break that down. I want to give you 3 reasons or 3 different scenarios in which I see them as just being useless. But then I also want to give you 3 reasons why I still use them in my 8th grade class. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. Reason number 1 is in middle school, we don't hold kids back. We don't. I mean, I remember the good old days when I was in middle school. That was always a fear that you'd be held back and never make it to high school. But I live here in California. As far as I know, in my 20 years of teaching, we've never held a kid back in middle school. You go from 6th grade to 7th to 8th, and then you go to 9th grade. Even if you fail 6th, 7th, or 8th, they still move you forward to the next grade. So with that in mind, what's the point of having grades? I mean, no matter what, you're still going to be progressing to the next level, to the next grade. So for that reason, grades are just kind of pointless because either way, you're moving ahead. And then reason number 2, when you get to the high school, same thing. When you get to the high school, grades are pointless at the high school because if you're looking to graduate, all you need to get in order to graduate are D's. That's it. D, C, B, A, it's all the same. Makes no difference. As long as you get a D or higher, you get credit and you graduate. So what's the point of getting a good grade? And the other part of it is, if you're looking to go to a community college, it makes no difference as well. D, C, B, A, it really makes no difference to get to a community college. It's not like they have this high criteria of whatever grades you need to get. And so for those reasons, in high school, grades are pointless because to get to the next level of your education or just to graduate, all you need is a D or higher. And then reason number 3, when you finally do get to college, if that's what you choose, you finally do get to college, when you graduate, they really don't care what your GPA was. For me, when I got my teaching credential, I went through the program. They didn't care where I got my teaching credential from, nor did they care what my GPA was from graduating. All they wanted to make sure is, did I complete the courses and did I get credit for them and do I have my credential? That is all they cared about. So grades do not even matter in college as well. My daughter's thinking about becoming a counselor psychologist, and the same thing. All they're looking for is that certification saying that you are done. So for those reasons, grades do not even matter in college. So if grades don't matter, why do I still give my students grades? Well, here's 3 reasons why I still give my students grades. Number 1, it holds kids accountable. It does. Because kids, they want to see some sort of result from the work that they put in. If they don't see any result from the work they put in less work. If they know that they can get the same exact grade as the person next to them, or no one gets any grades at all, there's no motivation for them to actually do the work. And so the reason I still have grades in my class, because it keeps kids accountable, keeps them focused, it keeps them moving in the right direction, because without it, many more kids, and I would suspect 90-95% of the kids would do little if no work at all. The second reason I still give kids grades is because it is a reflection of their work. And parents, as well as students, they want to see that reflection. It reflects the effort they put into the class. In my class, students get 50% for classwork, 50% for quizzes. And so it's a reflection of how well they do in the quiz and how well they do on the work they put in, the effort they put in. That's how their grades are calculated. So the grade is wonderful as a way of reflection of how much effort or maybe how much they even learned in the class. But more importantly for the kids is the parents. It shows the parents how the kids are doing. And so for that reason, that's another reason why I have grades in my class still. And the third reason you probably want to do grading, if you're at the high school level, even though it's easy to get into community college without those grades, if a student is trying to get into something a little more prestigious, a university of that sort, then grades definitely become important because that is one of the things used to determine whether or not they'll be accepted into a particular college. So if you teach at the high school level, there's a reason you want to have grades. If students want to take that to one step further beyond just a regular community college, if they want to go to university, those grades are a reflection of the work they put in, but also whether or not they might be accepted into a university or not. And that brings up the bigger question overall, which is this: should kids even go to college these days? Oh my gosh, you hear about all this debt of colleges. You hear, about the work they put in and everything else, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And I have to do a little soul search on this. I have 3 kids, and we've been trying to figure this part out. I have one kid that went straight to university. I have one kid that's going through community college first before transfer to university, and the third one probably community college and university. And the thought is, what is a degree worth these days? Now, here's how I look at it. If you are going to become something very particular, very specific, like an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer, something like that, man, a degree, you need to have that degree. There's some things where degrees are required, and there's some things where just to get your foot in the door, you need to have a degree. Usually a bachelor's degree, if not higher than that. So there are still jobs out there that require that minimum requirement of a degree to get there. But I believe more and more jobs, more and more opportunities are out there where degrees are not even necessary. And if you can get a job, if you can find a career, you can find a passion, you can find some success without having to go through the whole entire system of college, that might be something to consider. And in that case, grades are pointless.